We're here at the National Agricultural Sustainability and Innovation Centre in Johnstown Castle, formerly known as the Environment, Soils and Land Use Centre. We've opened a new building here today that will support research that will go out on farms. So we've always been known as a soils research centre, and I myself am working on nutrients, soil fertility, etc. And farmers are well used to interacting with that in terms of how much fertilizer to put on their crops or which organic manure types, when to spread it, etc. However, this has evolved into meeting some of the challenges that are out on farms there today. Things like water quality, how to improve water quality and how to manage, I suppose, our soils, our grassland, our crops and our nutrients and livestock for a better water quality outcome, but also in terms of greenhouse gases, biodiversity in our hedgerows, in our riparian areas, etc., and what's below our feet in terms of the microbiology in the soil. And it's microbes and those that are the enablers for many of the processes that happen, like mineralization of organic matter, which releases nutrients for the crops, which means you don't have to put out as much fertilizer in all your fields compared with some other fields. We're opening the building today, but the building was handed over to us in the last 2 months. So the labs are up and running. We're now working on those samples, and there's 10,000 soil samples are after going through the lab already in the last couple of months. We have about 40,000 analyses of water that have gone through the lab, and obviously supporting Ireland's nitrates derogation and the challenges that are there at the moment. This lab will be critical in terms of supporting that work, creating the evidence that will go out for our policymakers to use in Europe and for our farmers to use in terms of new methods, new management practices, etc. on the ground. Our, I suppose, mission is to identify the new management practices that would be used out on farm in the future. So, the climate is changing somewhat. We have other challenges in terms of biodiversity challenges, water quality, as we've talked about, climate, greenhouse gases, etc. So what our work here does is we'll first and foremost bring those challenges into the lab, develop and identify what needs to change, and then we'll take that back out on the research centre here at Johnstown Castle and the other Teagasc research centres to test them on farm, because it's not good enough that something just works in the lab. We also need to road test it. So that gives us an opportunity to have the laboratory equipment, the laboratory capacity to be able to analyse the samples for the question being asked, but also then to bring it out on farm and test it and make sure it's fit for purposes for farmers on a day-to-day basis.